Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And is this not just like wildly fun? I love when I put in Knightsbridge in things. And this is Knightsbridge. And this is a wonderful little tangle that just gives you some inspiring things to do. And this is by Sharon Paz, Ryse Orbs, or Ryse Orbs. And they are, I just had way too much fun with this particular tangle. So let's get started with this. I am going to do this one on a round tile. I kind of got hooked on round, but you can see it works really good on the square. And again, I'm going to put with my pencil, a border, because I don't want this one to go all the way out to the edge. I want it just to stop at the border. And sometimes I like that look. And Sharon originally did it in the round, so if you do it on a square tile, you can take a cup or maybe another tile. This one fits, and you can just place it on here and draw your circle on here if you like, so that you have a circle to draw on. So she starts out with a circle, and then we're going to divide it in half. And then again, so we have quarters. So we have this divided into quarters. And really should have done that with my pen, because that's how she done it. So I'm going to go back over that with my pen. I just had my pencil in my hand, and sometimes that happens with your pencil. You keep drawing. I found that in class a couple of times where students have kept drawing with their pencil if I don't remind them to use their pen. And then we're going to make a little arc from corner to corner. And I'm going to arc that circle too. So I'll do this circle part. And it's kind of a I don't know, a pointy at both ends shape. And then we get this shape that we want. And this is when the Ryse Orb starts to get fun. Now, you can choose to spiral into the center. And so we touch all those outside edges and then spiral your way in to the center if you want, which I find is a little bit easier to do. Or you can spiral from the inside to the outside corner. It doesn't really matter which one you do. From outside you can choose which one is easiest for you, or start in the center and spiral out. Either one of those will work. And now we're going to do it in this area also. So you can choose. I do believe I probably get a better shape when I go from the outside in on this particular tangle. And now we have our spirals. And now we're going to echo one side. So I'm just going to echo this side. All the way down. Or aura. To me, this is just echo, and I will use that when I don't go all the way around a tangle. I use echo. And so now I'm just going to turn my tile and do on the same side. And now we're going to do it on the opposite sides on the inside. So if this one's on this side, I want these auras to be going in the opposite direction. I suggest you start out with this on a larger piece. If you draw tiny, try to make it a little bigger, like your whole tile to begin with, and then work your way down to a smaller one. Now, this is the completion of the tangle that Sharon Paz did. But I wanted to add something because for me it doesn't have enough drama. So I could stripe something, but I loved that look. It just appealed to me. So when the first one I did, I have got to step back and do Knightsbridge. So to do Knightsbridge, I'm going to come from this tip, and I'm going to draw a line straight up from the center, and I was able to put 4 in there, and then I'm going to grid it off. And my favorite thing to do is, as soon as I grid off on a Knightsbridge, is to color it in. So I will immediately color in my Knightsbridge. And the funniest thing just happened. I took off my glasses so I could see this a little better to do the work, and realized that I'm using a dark brown pen instead of black. I thought I had black. If we put them together, I don't know if you can see them, but this is all done in a dark brown. So it could be interesting when I get ready to finish it up to see what happens. So I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to draw my straight lines. This time I only got 3. We'll come in a little closer so you can see, and then I'm going to grid it off. And we want to remember, when we do Knightsbridge, you want to be careful you do those coloring in order. Don't skip around. It can cause you to have what we call in our class oops. And we know there's no mistake in Zentangle, so you have to figure out how you're going to fix it. But if you do it in order, you don't make a mistake on that. But you can see how this is turning out with that just Knightsbridge in there. And I'm going to do one more. Then I think I'm going to change on my outside. I just think I'm going to give it just something a little bit different. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grid this center, just because that will help that disappear. it looks like my little pieces are sitting right on that piece of checkerboard. I'm just going to, on these tips, I'm going to come around so I can draw from, I'm just going to bring my lines in, and I follow that art, and instead of doing Knightsbridge, I think I'm just going to stripe it. And I like that. I still really like the Knightsbridge, but so you could really add anything you wanted into this section. My suggestion is that you think of something that has drama, meaning that it has a way to fill in, give it a dark look, because the tangle itself is very light, and when you give it some contrast, you have a more pleasing piece of work. And filling in the background has such great meditative quality. And I like how that one turned out. It had that fourth stripe. I might go back and fill in and add a fourth stripe there just because I like how that turned out. I should mark my dark brown pen with something so that I know it's dark brown, because I pick it up very often. And see, you can see that I am just going to fill that one in a little bit. So I'm going to come over here and just make that stripe just a little thicker. Just to give that, and look how beautiful that is. Now we have our option. We could take a colored pencil, and I got some new watercolor pencils in the mail from Artista, and I am going to, this is brown, and they are woodless, and I don't know much about, I need to sharpen it, but I'm just going to put myself a little brown watercolor pencil in there. We'll see how this turns out. Really should have sharpened that. So, and I got also some watercolor brushes, and I'm going to pick this tiny one. It's not full, so excuse me while I leave and go fill it up. Okay, I just filled it up with water. It's got a little tank, and we're gonna see how they, oops, did you see that? A big droplet of water. Well, there's no mistake in Zentangle. So we're just going to deal with the best we can with this. Kind of fun. Well, that's kind of fun to do a little watercolor on there. Even where it dropped on my pen, I just used a brown pencil. I used the Artista Woodless Watercolor Walnut Brown and their watercolor brush. Next time I'll sharpen my pencil, but I'm using a watercolor paper to draw on, so that's kind of a plus too. Got a big gob of water. Don't like how that was my fault. But it should dry up beautifully. But there we have R Tangle. It's a great tangle. I love just what it's just a fun little, for me it's a kind of a spring, and it's got a lot of potential. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll see more of me trying out these new pencils, and I got some watercolor markers, ink markers, so we'll see how that goes in the next few weeks. So thanks for watching, and I believe if you check the link below, you'll find a link where you can purchase these pencils, and have a great day.